Hello viewers, you are welcome to this week's edition of Veritas Half Hour. Veritas Half Hour is our weekly television program where we discuss academic excellence and quality formation at Veritas University Abuja. I am your regular host, Cyril Ole. You're welcome. The National Universities Commission and the Council of Legal Education in Nigeria granted approval to Veritas University Abuja to run a law program. As a result, the Vice Chancellor of Veritas University Abuja, Reverend Father Professor Hyacinth Ichoku, and the university management have started attracting well-known legal professionals and academics to drive the vision of the faculty. Among them include Professor Epiphany Azinge, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Dr. Valerie Azinge, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Professor Mrs. Josephine Agbonika, Reverend Father Dr. Anthony Azuwike, Professor Paul Idornigie, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, to mention just a few. In our episode today, Professor Idornigie speaks on the law program at Veritas University Abuja. Welcome, Professor Idornigie.
Thank you.
Nice to have you in our studio.
Thank you very much.
Professor Idornigie has been a well-known name in the legal profession. He has been in public service for several decades, between 1970 and 2020. He chartered, they call it chartered secretary?
Yes, I qualified
as a chartered secretary in 1986. Yeah. Beautiful. And then thereafter, he graduated from the Faculty of Law, University of Jos, in 1992. In 1993, Professor Idornigie graduated also from the Nigerian Law School in Lagos. He was among the top 6. Yeah. Just like you were the best graduating student from the University of Jos, yeah. The Faculty of Law. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. And then in 1996, he graduated with LLM in the same Faculty of Law, University of Jos. And then he bagged his PhD from the University of Jos in 2002. Professor Idornigie lectured at the University of Jos Faculty of Law. He was also a lecturer at the Nigerian Law School, Abuja. And then in 2009, Professor Idornigie was at the Nigerian Institute of Advanced Legal Studies, where he was appointed Professor of Law. And in 2015, he became a big masquerade. That was when they crowned him with the Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Currently, he is on the Faculty of Law at Veritas University Abuja, where he teaches what he knows best. Professor Idornigie, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chartered Arbitrator. You're welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
How did you move from being a chartered secretary to the legal profession? Let me start from there.
Okay. As a young man in Benin in those days,
yes, my
life ambition was to qualify as a chartered secretary. That's all I wanted to do in life. So I was working in the University of, first I worked in the University of Benin, then the University of Jos. The University of Jos in 1983 gave me scholarship to go to the UK, where I went to Abdullah Ruskin University in Chelmsford, Essex, to qualify as a chartered secretary. So I qualified in 1986, I returned to the university. Now, because I was trained by the university, I was bonded to serve them for 5 years.
Oh, before you could leave?
Yeah. So, okay. But when I came back in 1987, the university started the evening law program. I said to myself, have you qualified as a chartered secretary? To be nice if I'm also a legal practitioner, so that I can move to the private sector as a company secretary stroke legal advisor. So I registered for law in 87, which I finished in 92. But prior to that, I had worked at Auchi High Court. I worked at Auchi High Court from 1970 to 1974. I started as a typist grade 3 in 1970, but by 74, I was a stenographer. I was a stenographer when I left Auchi High Court for the University of Benin. So I joined the University of Benin as a stenographer, and I rose to become a confidential secretary. Now, whilst in Benin, I was working with the late Professor E.U.M. Morgan who in 78 was made the Vice Chancellor of University of Jos. So he appointed me his personal secretary at the University of Jos. So in January 79, I moved to Jos, where I have been since 79.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's how I moved from being a charter secretary to law. And when I qualified as a chartered secretary, in the registry where I was working, I got to the level of a senior assistant registrar on grade level 12.
Okay.
But the urge to teach was very high. So as soon as I was called to bar in 1993, I moved to the Faculty of Law as an assistant lecturer on grade level 9.
At University of Jos.
University of Jos, yes. From being a senior assistant registrar
On
on
level
grade
12 to
Faculty
level
of
9.
Law 9.
Oh my God.
And started again another career.
What a determination. I mean, it's only people maybe my age and above will understand what it means to be a typist grade 3, a stenographer and all that. But then what was the attraction to even lose your steps, your grade levels, including some monetary gains to go to law?
Well, I didn't have, there was no monetary gain. That was what I negotiated. I begged the university to allow me move, to make my salary personal to me.
Okay.
So I didn't suffer any monetary loss. But what was the attraction? Having qualified as a lawyer, I wanted to practice law. I wanted to teach law. Now, if I had stayed in the registry, they would not allow me to do a master's degree in law. And they would not allow me to practice. But I found that as a lecturer, I can practice.
Right.
So that was a strong motivation to register for a master's degree and practice law. That's how I didn't mind coming from grade level 12
to 9, started over again.
Started over again.
Wow.
So that's what I did again.
It's interesting. Now, looking at your experiences, teaching, in addition to the registry work in Auchi High Court and at the university, it tells us that you are coming to Veritas University Abuja with a lot of teaching experiences.
Yeah.
You also taught at the Nigerian Law School.
Yeah, I did.
So you are coming to a familiar terrain, that's what I mean.
That is true.
So what do our students expect from you?
Well, like you rightly observed, having taught at the University of Jos, at the Nigerian Law School, incidentally in the same Buhari.
Exactly.
Incidentally, same Buhari.
You should be a landlord here, actually.
Then I left Buhari in 2002 to the Bureau of Public Enterprises, BPE, as a general counsel, legal advisor, then as the head of secretariat. So I covered the board meetings. I was an assistant secretary to the National Council on Privatization, so I covered all the board meetings. Now, whilst in BPE, I was involved in drafting what today we refer to as the reform bill. For instance, this PIB that I just passed, I was involved in the drafting of the first version in BPE between 2007 and 2008. For the ports, I was involved in the concession of all the ports in Lagos, Calabar, Port Harcourt, and Warri.
Nigerian Ports Authority.
Yes, I drafted all the agreements. Then, in the power sector, I was in BPE when the Electric Power Sector Reform Act was passed in 2005. And is that act that repealed the NEPA Act. Now, the act provided that from the commencement of the act, we should incorporate an initial holding company called an initial holding company, which is now registered as the Power Holding Company of Nigeria. I actually registered that company. Power Holding Company of Nigeria. So the assets and liabilities staff of NEPA were transferred to that initial holding company. The same law provides that we should create successor companies in the core area of distribution, generation, and transmission. I also drafted the transfer orders that move the assets and staff of Power Holding Company to. I also registered these copies,
Right.
the initial copy,
Right.
the discos, the JCOs, I registered them. So, and while there too, I was involved in drafting all kinds of commercial instruments, share purchase agreement, power purchase agreement, gas sale agreement, shareholders agreement, non-disclosure agreement. So, I think that I'm not just an academic, I'm a privileged and academic who also has a practical experience. So when I'm teaching, I'm not just teaching from the textbook perspective.
Right.
I'm also an arbitrator. And as you probably know, my doctorate degree is in the area of international commercial arbitration. Okay. At the moment, I'm involved with the drafting of the Arbitration and Conciliation Act for the federal government of Nigeria. So, and like I said, I'm a practicing arbitrator. I am also in the faculty of the Institute of Chartered Secretary and Administrators, where I teach corporate governance. I used to teach law and procedure of meetings and company secretarial practice. For arbitration in the UK, the Chartered Institute, I'm on the faculty where I teach introduction to domestic and commercial arbitration. So I think I see myself like a package. So this
I agree with you. I like that. Yeah, a serious package.
And bring it to Veritas.
Right. I guess that our students are in for serious academic harassment.
Thank you.
Yeah. So let's look at the twofold approval given to Veritas University Abuja now by the National Universities Commission and the Council.
I was involved.
You were involved. Okay, so tell us about the principles.
Okay. Now, the National Universities Commission, by statute, they are empowered to lay down minimum standards for all the universities in Nigeria.
Okay.
In exercise of that power, in 1989, they produced what they refer to as benchmark for minimum academic standards, BMAS. By 2007, that BMAS was reviewed, and that BMAS spells out what you need to establish a university, staffing, offices, everything you need to know about the university. Let me leave that for now. Come back to the Council of Legal Education.
Okay.
Now, the Legal Education Act provides for the establishment of Council of Legal Education, and the Council of Legal Education is in charge of the training of anybody aspiring to become a legal practitioner in Nigeria. That is why, to establish a faculty of law in Veritas, we needed the approval of both the National Universities Commission and the Council of Legal Education. Like I said, I was part of the team from Veritas that came for the resource verification from the two bodies. And so we got the approval from the NUC in February last year, and that of the Council of Legal Education in July last year. Okay. Now, the BMAS has, like I said, so many provisions, but there's a part relevant for our conversation dealing with the objectives and the principles behind establishing a law faculty. It provides that a law faculty should be structured in such a way that students are exposed to the position of a law in society. In other words, we should underscore the place and importance of law in a society. As a law graduate, you should be exposed to other disciplines other than law. Because when you graduate, you'll be advising governments, you'll be advising corporations, you'll be advising individuals, you'll be advising international organizations. So your training should equip you to carry out this responsibility. Now, all human activities, social, economic, and political, are regulated by law. Okay. It may interest you to know that even during marriage, there's no law saying that you must marry. But law says, if you want to get married and be protected by law, do it this way. Okay. That's why you have a marriage registry that provides for the procedure. So you have the Marriage Act that provides for the procedure for marrying, even entering into a contract. No law says you must enter into a contract,
But if
you want to enter into a contract and you need the protection of the law, enter into a contract. There must be an offer, there must be acceptance, there must be consideration. So the training exposes you to play all these roles, and that is why we say that we are learned. It's one course that cuts across all sectors, and the training prepares you for dispute resolution. Okay, and it's expected that you should understand the social environment in which the law operates. You should study, understand law in society. Law is not an abstract subject. It's a living subject. So you must be equipped to practice law in society. So what Veritas has done, based on the philosophy and objectives of these BIMAs, Veritas has its own objectives. Veritas has a policy of attracting, not just attracting and retaining the best. And Veritas also provides for collaboration, academic linkages with other universities. So with programs like that, you find that our staff, our students can go on exchange program. Now, in these days of information technology, you don't need to go and stay in the UK again for 3 years to do a PhD. Okay. No, you can stay here and you'll be discussing with your supervisor by email, sending documents by WhatsApp, if necessary, by a Zoom meeting. In fact, my daughter just defended a PhD in the UK. I was there. It's by Zoom. Okay. She defended a PhD thesis. So the definition of classroom, the definition of work has changed. For instance, when we start teaching here, I did not come to a place called a classroom to teach.
Right.
Now,
classroom without walls
can be deployed. Now, in my laptop, there's an app by Law Pavilion where, in the past, if you go to the law office, you see laws of the Federation of Nigeria, you see law reports. In my laptop, right, I have an app for Law Pavilion that has laws of the Federation, law reports. In fact, I have latest law reports from the Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal up to June this year. Okay. So we tend to leverage on technology here instead of the conventional face-to-face teaching. I'm not saying that they're not going to be face-to-face.
Yeah, in addition to that.
Yes.
Okay, Prof, we'll take a short break. Okay. But when we come back, you mentioned external linkages. Yeah. I want to take you up on that. Okay. Keep watching.
Veritas University Abuja, located in Buhari Area Council, is offering provisional admission to all qualified students with recent UTME JAM examination results. Applications are open to all candidates with a minimum score of 470 for other courses and a minimum score of 200 for admission into the Faculty of Law. Screening for the 2021-2022 academic session will commence from the 27th of September 2021. The exercise will be physical or virtual in Abuja and the respective Catholic dioceses with education secretariats. For further inquiries, call Reverend Father Dr. Babkwaf, Chairman, Admission Committee on 080-3939-8830 or the Admission Officer, Mr. Kefas Ilya, on 070-8685-8143. You can also call the Marketing Officer, Mr. Timothy Adidi, on 081-3860-5055. For postgraduate admission, contact Monsignor Professor Michael Sasa on 080-3499-8227. Veritas University, seeking the truth.
Welcome back. We have in our studio Professor Paul Idornigie, son, Chartered Arbitrator, now on the Faculty of Law at Veritas University, Buhari, Abuja. Prof, before we went on that short break, you in your explanation, you mentioned about external linkages. I'm interested in that. How do all these things you are coming to do at Veritas and many more, how will they help the university in getting high ranking among the universities globally?
Yes. Again, Veritas is privileged that it has attracted top-class scholars already.
Right.
And we have the Times Higher Education World Ranking.
Okay.
That determines the rank of over 1,600 universities at the moment.
Okay.
Now, they use 5 indices. The first one is teaching.
Okay.
Teaching takes 30%. The next one is research.
Okay.
Research takes 30%. The next one is citation. The citation takes 30%. The next one is the international outlook. And the last one is the industry income.
Okay.
I can, if I have time, can I develop them further?
Go ahead, sir.
Okay. In terms of teaching, we are concerned with the teaching environment.
Okay.
Teaching environment. We're also concerned with the staff-student ratio.
Okay.
NUC has stipulated in payments of 1 to 30
Okay.
as the staff-student ratio.
Okay.
So, I talk about teaching environment. I'm sure you're aware that we have the Justice Chikedigwe project that is going on
Yes,
there.
yes.
And if you go through the BIMAS by NUC again, all NUC expect to find in the modern law faculty and in that building.
Okay.
NUC goes as far as determining the sizes of offices for professors, for deans, for heads of department. Even provided that there should be toilets in the offices of deans and heads of department.
Okay.
And the provision for auditorium, moot court, law clinics, they are in that building. And so we are taking care of the issue of the teaching environment.
Okay.
Now, the next one is research. Now, like I said, with technology, we are going to have a physical and e-library. An e-library that our students can access from anywhere.
Okay.
Then citation. Citation deals with how the works of the faculty is cited by scholars in other universities.
Okay.
Now, as we are speaking, just Google Epiphany Azinge, or you Google Josephine Abonika,
Okay.
or you Google my name, and you see our works, how many times they have been cited by other scholars. So you can see that Veritas is one university starting with 3 professors.
Okay.
3 professors and 3 senior advocates. I don't know of any new university in Nigeria that has this caliber of staff.
Wow.
3 professors, 3 senior advocates at the beginning.
All right.
So by the time we leave citation, we go to international outlook.
Right.
Here, we're looking at how many foreign students have you attracted.
Okay.
Then their affiliation,
Okay.
their academic affiliation. How are you collaborating with other universities? Have you entered into academic linkages with other universities? Then lastly is industry income. This is much more relevant in the sciences and engineering faculty. You're looking at your research results, how are they applied in the field.
Industry,
Yes.
okay.
So these are the 5 indices used to determine the ranking. Now, a university can do well in teaching, but not very strong in research. For instance, the world ranking for 2022 was released on the 2nd of September this year.
This year.
And Harvard University tops teaching,
Okay.
but Oxford University tops research.
Oh.
Macau University tops international outlook. In other words, they have more international students. So that's how it works. And in Nigeria, Ibadan has repeatedly been on top of the ranking of universities in Nigeria.
Okay.
So, because we are aware of the indices that is being used to rank universities, we intend to be very mindful of that when we commence teaching of law in Veritas University.
Okay. Now, have you so far identified what one may call some special skills that can enable our students and the faculty of Veritas University to perform?
From the faculty we have, I'll start from Professor saying,
Okay.
at the moment, Professor Zingé is consulting for the National Assembly on the review of the Constitution.
Okay.
His doctorate thesis is in the area of electoral law. Okay. Professor Zingé has taught Nigerian legal system. He has taught international law. He has taught jurisprudence. He has taught intellectual property. Now, Professor Idornigie. Idornigie is a consultant on tax matters, so she also teaches commercial law. Dr. Mrs. Valerie Azinge has a doctorate degree in banking, and she's an expert in shipping intellectual property. Then my humble self, my doctorate degree is in international commercial arbitration, and I teach commercial law, I teach corporate law, I teach arbitration, I teach corporate governance. So we have other junior academics with other specializations in law. So we are ready, and we have the full complement of staff to take on the students.
Okay, so now I understand when somebody says law is a different kettle of fish, what that means. So at Veritas University Abuja, I'm looking for a pattern shot for you.
Yeah.
What do we tell the students who are coming from October this year to expect from the new faculty?
Now, they should be guided by the core values of Veritas.
Okay.
When they come, hard work. Hard work. They should be disciplined.
Okay.
Hard work. They should be disciplined. They should be students of integrity.
Okay.
And they should be creative. We also have intrinsic values in Veritas. They include honesty, transparency, self-discipline, and sense of responsibility. So the new students should expect that they're not coming to meet people who will come to the class and reel out legal principles, ideas. They're going to meet people who generated these principles that are being read out. So they are come to, like, when Professor Idornigie enters the class and is teaching, he's not going to be looking at the 1939 Constitution. He will tell you why, in this present amendment, some items in the exclusive list have been moved to the concurrent list.
So when it comes out, expect to see the concurrent list.
Yeah. Or Dr. Valerie Azinge, SAN, she's a practicing lawyer.
Right.
So if she tells herself how to teach criminal procedure or civil procedure, she'll be teaching you the law as it is and what happens in court. Dr. Idornigie, when she tells us to teach, she knows she's at home. This conversation about VAT,
right.
She will tell you why it should be a tax that is that the state should collect or the federal government should collect. She also teaches commercial law.
Okay.
Now, like I said to you, I just mentioned what I teach as well. So for me, it's going to be like a harvest of scholarship, a harvest of intellectualism, a harvest of the best in given our present environment.
Wow, viewers, this is, I wish we can continue, Prof, but unfortunately, because of time or lack of it thereof, we just have to stop here. But I'm hoping that at some point we'll call you back to our studio because this will be an ongoing conversation.
Thank you.
We have been talking with Professor Paul Idornigie, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chartered Arbitrator, who has done several research work, teachings on various aspects of law. We are happy to have him on the faculty of Veritas University Abuja to teach law. We thank you for watching Veritas Half Hour. This is the size of our package. Please tune in next week for a fresh edition of Veritas Half Hour. Thank you for watching. My name is Cyril Ode.